caretaker
yandibadde mutuufu okugamba
in
nti
this school?
yegweko omuntu yali alabira abaana abo mu ssomero eryo. Tinedda.
Okay. Who is another caretaker?
Muntu kyoyo omulala eyali alabirira abaana abo.
Nora Namyenya.
Another one?
Ate omulala?
Sarah Adek.
Sarah Adek. So you are 3?
Kitegeeza muli basatu?
One was off duty that day.
Emu teyali ku mulimu ekiseera ekyo.
Okay. How many children are there in that early learning center?
Bali baana bameka
including the late?
Ku ssomero eryo ng'ogasseko n'abo abaana abagenzi.
On that day, there were 28 from the vulnerable side, and there were 16 from the daycare side.
Nkikola olunaku waliwo abaana 26.
Could you please repeat? Okay, Miss Phoebe, help me understand. On that day, how many were they?
28 plus 16.
Phoebe, will I be right? Those are 44?
Someone can calculate.
Okay, I have calculated. In your mind, the 3 people are enough to take care of these children.
No, I think that question is out of place. That's not for her to answer.
Much obliged, my lord. In your testimony, that day, you said the people who came to help you, more other two, including the security guard. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So in total you were 3.
Pardon? No. What? Abalala bakayateekazi abalala bamaali baneegattako kubanga be baakuba endulu ezayita abajja okutuyamba.
Other caretakers came after and joined me because they are the ones who made an alarm.
Okay. By the time these other 2 people came to join you, all the 4 children were dead.
No.
But they were cut.
Since engeri gye nali nga ndi kulwanagana n'omwami,
I want us to go a little slower. Give her time to internalize the question and answer.
Engeri gye twali nti nali ndi kulwanagana n'omwami oyo.
Since I was fighting with that man there,
kati saasobola kumanya nti gundi yajja mu kaseera ki gundi yajja mu kaseera ki naye kyensobola okujjukira nti baavaayo ne bakuba endulu.
So at the time when they made the alarm, was there anything to save with those 4?
I'm not getting your question.
Okay, by the time they came to make the alarm, isn't it true the children were already cut, the 4?
We were in the process.
Process of doing what?
That man was in the process of cutting the children.
So you want to say that the 3 were present while he was cutting?
They were calling for hope.
But they were present?
Yes.
Do you remember when you said that you called the alarm? By the time you made the alarm was on the 4th child making, he was cutting.
speech to
That is not what she said.
Much of late. You remember on 1st April, you said that person came at the gate. And you talked to him while the gate was closed.
Yes.
Is that the way you talk to the visitors?
He was a stranger.
Was a stranger. All the visitors all the
Mr. Kumuga, remember we are recording, so give us the time to record, then we ask the next question. Okay, I have recorded that she spoke to him at the gate because he was a stranger. You can take it up from there.
Is that the way you usually speak to the strangers?
That's why after interviewing him and knowing his purpose, the next day I had opened for him.
Okay. The first time of interaction, did you notice anything unusual in him? Okay. The second time, when you were talking to him?
Mr. Kumbuga, we are going to regulate your speed.
Because it's not right.
Please regulate your speed so that you allow us time to record. You were asking her whether she noticed anything unusual, and she said no. So you can take it up from there.
The second time when you are interacting with him, will I be right that you never bothered to ask for his identifications?
The next time ngaleso omwana agenda kuleta all the documentation ezimukwatako nezikwata ku mwana.
Yes, Mr. Kumga, let's proceed. But you interpret what she said in English. Asked a question as to whether she asked him for his identification documents the second day. And then she said she asked him, but he said he would bring the documents when he's bringing the child the next time. That is the interpretation I wanted because there is recording.
nti omwami oyo yagamba nti najja kubanga aleeta ebyo
Because she said it in Luganda, you bring it in English for purposes of recording of the court record.
the gentleman said that you bring all the documents.
When he's bringing the child,
That you bring all the documents when he's bringing the child.
let's
On the
proceed, Mr.
second
Kombuga.
day when he's coming back to the school.
That's not it. On the second day, when he came, they asked him for the documents, his identification documents, and then he said he would bring them when he's bringing the child to school.
So that gentleman, when he came back, he said he'll bring the documents on the second day. When he's bringing the child.
Okay, let's proceed, Mr. Kombuga.
In your testimony you gave here in this court, will I be correct to say you mentioned only one security guard?
Nti yandibadde mutuufu okubanga agambye nti wayogerako ewa security guard omu yekka.
He was among the first respondents.
Ye yali omuntu omu ku abo abaasooka okujja.
Okay. And that security guard was not at the entrance.
Kitegeeza oyo security guard oyo teyaliiwo ku mulyango.
They keep on patrolling this whole place because we use again security.
Tebabeerawo nga batambula olw'ensonga nti
Answer my
babeera-
Okay,
question.
Phoebe, you'll answer his question as he puts it to you.
ojja kuddamu ekibuuzo ki nga waabeera
And the
kikubuuzizza.
question is, was he at the gates?
No,
Okay,
Nti
thank you.
nedda.
At the time when these children were out, will I be right, you were in class
Mu
or you
kiseera-
were in your office?
mu kiseera ekyo abaana bwe baali nga bali bweru yandibadde mutuufu okugamba nti wali bweru oba wali mu ofiisi yo.
nali wabweru nga ndi nabo.
I was outside with them.
Do you remember
Ojjukira
when that person was in office paying the money?
omuntu oyo we yali mu ofiisi ng'asasula ssente.
Isn't it true that you are also in office?
Kituufu nti naawe weera wali mu ofiisi.
It is true, nali mu office.
Okay.
Kituufu nali mu ofiisi.
And at that time the children were out.
Era mu kiseera ekyo abaana baali bweru.
Yes.
Yeah.
When this person was getting out of the office,
Omuntu oyo yali ng'afuluma ofiisi.
who first got out first?
Ani
Is it
yasooka-
you
ani
or
ya-
that person?
ani yasooka okufuluma igwe oba omuntu oyo?
He went out first.
Ye yasooka okufuluma.
How far? How far is your office towards where the children were playing from?
Ofiisi yo n'abaana be baali bazannyira wali wenkana wa?
It is close.
Walinaanigana.
Can you estimate?
Osobola okutulagamu
In the court here?
wano mu kooti.
Maybe from here up to the first terrace there. The first tell us alone.
You can estimate prosecution and defense and the assessors. Estimate and let me know.
Kinga okuva omukyala waali paka wali eri wakumadaala.
Terraces wezitandikira awo.
Where the terraces start from.
That looks like 30 meters, my lord.
Is that the agreement of everyone? It looks like yeah, it seems to be shorter than 30. Let's, assessors, please, just come and help me to assess this. Where she's standing to, and we should all be in a consensus of the distance. What is your estimation?
About 15 to 20 meters.
How many?
15 to 20 meters.
Bagambye obuwanvu bulinga bwa mita 15 ku 2.
Is that the consensus? Yes? Okay.
Nti era ekyo kye bakkiriziganyizzaako enju ensonga.
Do you know the number of children who were playing at that time, that place?
Omanyi omuwendo gw'abaana abaali bazannya mu kiseera ekyo?
Omuwendo sigumanyi kubanga abamu baali bagenze for short call emanju abamu nga bazannya kati simanyi bameka baali mu luggi.
I don't know the amount because some had gone for a short call and others were playing.
But were they beyond 4?
There were more than 4.
Baali basukka abana.
When you interacted with this man in the office,
Wali
Together with
ng'oyogera
the-
n'omwami omu office
the headmistress,
ne headmistress.
did you ask
She
him
was the
where?
coordinator, not the
the-
headmistress.
Okay, the coordinator. Did you ask him where he resides?
Wamubuuzaako oba gye yali abeera?
Yatugamba abeera Buziga.
He said that he was staying in Buziga.
Buziga is big. Did he exactly tell you the place?
Buziga nnene yakubulira ddala nkwa bwe yali avye.
No.
Nedda.
Did you find it necessary?
Bwe bakisanga nga kyali kya mugaso.
Since he had told us that he was going to come back with the documents that day he was bringing the child plus the mother, we thought we would discuss that on that day.
Bo bakiraba nti baali basobola okuba nga bakinnyonnyola olunaku olwo kuba yali yabagamba ajja kuba nga akoma olunaku olwala ng'aleeta omwana.
So the question is, did you find it necessary
Yes.
to ask him?
Yes.
Nti yakisanga kyali kya mugaso okubeera nga amubuuza.
So if you found it necessary, why didn't you ask him?
Omusango nga
Actually,
kyali
she has answered that question, that she expected to get better details when the mother brought the child the next time.
Much obliged.
Miss Sarah, is there anything you want to communicate to the court from your client?
None, my lord.
Madam Phoebe,
Kyali
when you said that this man was breathing heavily, what did you mean?
Lwe wagamba nti omusajja ono yali asanye, ki kye wali otegeeza?
He asked me how he was responding. That's the only thing, he was breathing heavy.
Wambuuza engeri gye yali addamu nekuddamu nekugamba nti yali asanye.
Please clarify.
So, breathing heavily, she may not be able to describe that. You want her to describe? I think we can all understand how to breathe heavily.
Ffenna tusobola okutegeera engeri omuntu gy'abeera assaamu.
Okay, one last question. The gate of that school and the main road, how far is it?
Ekibuuzo ekirala ekisembayo ku geeti y'essomero eyo n'ekkubo lyennyini waliwo distance yenkanawa?
I'm not good at measuring distance, but it is not so. It is a bit close.
Well, can I say they were like 50 meters? They are like 50 meters.
Si mulungi ye kubanga ategeera distance eyo.
I can't measure in meters. I don't know how many meters are there.
Can you try to
Tamanyi nti
estimate
waliwo
here?
meters mmeka?
From our gate to the main road.
From where you're standing,
Ojja tubulira ng'osinzidde okuva ago
I
w'oyimiridde
think
kati.
it can be like from here up to that place which goes to the Maranatha High School.
Ngambe kiringa okuva wano paka ku kifo ekyo ekigenda ku ssomero eryo.
Just behind that building.
Emabega w'ekizimbe ekyo.
let's get to know the estimate of the distance. Have you understood where Maranatha is? Then you find out so that you're able to tell us.
abakooti bo bagambye bateebereza okubeerawo obuwanvu bwa mita nga 7.
Phoebe, you talked of the 16 children and the 28. Are they in the same premise?
Wayogedde ku bano 16 n'abiri bonna bali mu kifo kye kimu.
We're in the same premise,
n'abiri mu
but
omukaaga
we are
n'abiri mu omunaana
we are in the same premise, but we have different classes.
bonna bali mu kifo kye kimu lwakuba balina ebibiina byenjawulo.
So, those who were a bit old that time, how many people were attending to them?
Kwabo abaali abakulukulumuko baali bantu bameka baali babali kubalabirira?
Our age groups are almost the same. So kati simanyi bw'ogamba abakulukulumu baluwa bw'otegeeza.
I don't know
Okay.
when you say those were a bit old, the ones that you mean.
Maybe let her clarify for us the two categories of the children. She said the vulnerable and help us understand that differentiation.
Bwe ngamba vulnerable waliwo church egenda mu communities nerondayo abaana abava mu families ezitalina buyambi abali malnourished nebaleeta netubateekawo netuba nga tubalabirira.
Among those who are vulnerable, the church gets them from the community. Those from humble backgrounds, then they bring them and then we take care of them.
Netubalabirira
And we take care of them.
era bo tebalina tebasasula ssente za mwezi.
And those ones, they don't pay a fee per month.
Then newabawo category endala
Then there are those others, another category.
abazadde bo basasula kubanga baayagala abaana baabwe tubeere nga tubasigaza naye nga tebali mu project eri.
Whereby parents pay for those children and we take care of them because for them they are not in the other project.
Kyekikula kyono omwami category gye yali agiddemu okuwandiisa omwana we.
So that is the same category that this gentleman also came to register his child.
So at that time,
Let's wait, Mr. Kumbu. Help us repeat how many were in the vulnerable group and how many were in the other group.
Ddamu tubuulira abo abali mu group eyo eyafaanana gye wayogeddeko n'ekibiina kiri ekirala.
Abali mu vulnerable group bali 28.
Abali mu vulnerable group bali 28.
Abali mu category endala bali 16.
Then bali abalala bali 16.
so these children who passed on, which category do they belong to?
Bano abaana abaafa bo bagwa mu category.
Ababiri babiri abali mu group y'abaana ab'obuyambi, ababiri bali mu group eryesasula ssente.
Two of the children, they were from those parents who used to pay for them, then other two, they are coming from the other group of the vulnerable.
So will I be right to say both groups, it's you was attending to them that time alone?
Yandibadde mutuufu ogamba nti group zonna wamu gwe yali azirabirira ekiseera ekyo.
During break time,
Will I be right?
Yandibadde
Is
mutuufu.
it right or no?
Kituufu oba nedda?
it is right at that particular moment.
Okay.
tekituufu mu kaseera ako.
My Lord, I'm through the cross-examination.
Thank you very much.
Oyo amaze n'ebibuuzo
Mr. Mwaganya, any re-exam?
My Lord, just one.
mwa gavumenti agambye alinayo ekibuuzo kimu kyagenda okukubuuza.
Please, I want you to clarify
Ayagala otangaazeemu
when they asked you about the people who were caretaking the children in the school.
bwe bakubuuza ku bantu abo abaali balabirira abaana abo balikola ku ssomero eryo.
You listed people in the category of caretakers.
Why
Other
you-
than caretakers, were there other staff for the daycare?
Wayogeddeko abo abaali balabirira obulabirizi abaana naye waliwo ne basitaafu abalala abaali baliwo abaali bakola emirimu egyali emirala.
Yes, waliwo coordinator ne cook.
Yes, there was a coordinator and a cook.
That's all, my Lord. We pray to call the next witness.
Ng'era bye ebibuuzo
First
bweddeyo
wait, I have some questions for her.
Okay, my Lord.
n'omulamuzi alina ebibuuzo byagenda okuba nga akubuuza.
Miss Phoebe, a few questions from me.
Naye ebibuuzo ebitonotono byagenda okubuuza.
I want you to clarify something for me, for the court.
Ng'era ayagala otangaazeemu mu kkooti
You talked about the gate, the way where you met or where you talked with that gentleman on the first day. I just want to understand the nature of this gate.
ayagala okumutegeeza geeti eyo yali oba efaanana etya kwe ku geeti eyo wayogerera n'omwami oyo.
Is it a closed gate? Is it a gate that has bars?
Ye geeti erina ebintayimba oba geeti ebeera nga nzikali nga oba talabirimu.
It is open with bars.
Geeti eyo ebeera openi n'ebitayimba ebyo.
It has bars. It is this kind of gate which has bars that you can see through.
Ye geeti ebeera erina ebitayimba ng'oba osobola okuba ng'olaba okuyitamu ng'olaba.
So during the day, is it locked?
Yes,
At
it's
any-
locked.
Nti emisana geeti era ebeera nzikale.
Is it manned by anyone?
Waliwo omuntu agibeerako oba agikumpa.
Is it manned by
Waliwo omuntu
anyone?
abeera akola ku geeti eyo.
No, we just keep it closed in case someone wants help. We can open for him.
Nti bo babeera bagikuma ng'ebeera nzikale omuntu era waba nga alina ayagala obuyambi bo bagenda ne bamuggulira.
Okay, the first time when you say you met him or he came at the gate, were you able to see the modes of transport that brought him?
Omulundi ogwasooka okubeera walaba omwami oyo yajjira ku geeti wasobola okulaba entambula gye yakozesa okuba nga ajja ku lunaku olwo.
He approached the gate by foot and he left by foot.
Tiyajja ku geeti eyo nga yatambulawo butambuzi era yavaawo ng'era atambulawo butambuzi.
And you also said that the act of cutting the children took a very short time. Are you able to estimate the time in terms of minutes?
Era wagamba nti ekikolwa ekyo kyeyakola yali ng'atema abaana abo kyatwala ebbanga ettono ennyo. Osobola okutegeera oba okuteebereza kyatwala bbanga lyenkanawa?
According to the time we spent there, I can estimate less than 7 minutes.
Sinzira ku kiseera ekitwaliwo awo zaalinga eddakiika okukka wansi w'omusanvu.
About the security guard, where does he guard? You talked about him coming. Where is he during the day?
Ate ono security guard gwe yayogeddeko emisana abeera wa?
They station at the main gate of the church, but they keep on patrolling the whole premises.
Babeera ku gate ennyini eya church naye era babeera era batambulatambulamuko nga bakuuma nga balawuna ekifo.
Mr. Morgan, any questions that arise from my questioning?
My Lord, not at all.
How about you, Mr. Kumbuga?
No question, my Lord.
Okay, Miss Phoebe, once again, I thank you so much for coming to testify and for being brave and strong. You can step down.
Mukyala Phoebe mulamuzi akwebaza okuba ng'ozze mu kkooti eno okuba obujulizi.
Let's have the next witness.
Katufune omujulizi omulala.
Lord, as she comes, I had forgotten to brief court that we have planned for 8 witnesses today.
This one, in addition to Phoebe or?
No, with Phoebe inclusive.
Phoebe inclusive. So we have 7.
Yes, my Lord.
Okay, let's
Leero
see how
oludda
fast we
lwabadde
can
lulinawo
move.
abajulizi 8 ng'ogasseeko n'oyo omukyala Phoebe amaze okuwa obujulizi mu kkooti eno.
Please tell court. Sorry.
Samwaganya, this is PW7.
Yes, my Lord.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, madam.
May I please know your name?
I'm Annette Agoy Odo.
Annette?
Annette Agoy Odo.
You're going to spell for me the 2 names, the last 2 names.
Annette, A-G-O-E,
A-G-O-E,
then O-D-D-O-N-G.
A-D-O-N-G.
Yes.
Odon.
Yes.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 57 years old.
And what is your religion?
Born again.
Okay, you're going to hold the Bible and swear that you're going to tell us the truth. And if you feel you want to sit along the way, you tell me so you can sit.
I swear by the Almighty God
I swear by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give
that the evidence I shall give
touching the matter before court
touching the matter before court
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
nothing but the truth.
nothing but the truth.
Okay, so Annette, you say you are 57 years.
Yes. Yes, sir.
What do you do for a living?
I work for Early Childhood Development Center
as the coordinator.
agambye nti akola nga coordinator mu early childhood center ng'era alina emyaka 57.
For how long have you worked as such?
omazeeyo ebbanga lyenkana nga okolera eyo?
I've worked for 15 years.
yakakolerayo emyaka 15.
And what do you do as coordinator?
okola mirimu ki egyo nga coordinator?
At the facility, one we
Mr.
have,
Morgan, I'm hoping the other witnesses are not here.
No, my lord.
Okay.
They are far apart.
at the facility we have 2 programs. One is for the vulnerable children. So for the vulnerable children,
You are going to go
Okay.
slow to allow court to, right?
ku facility balinawo program ziri 2 ng'emu esooka ey'abavunaanyizibwa.
then the second one is for the children from those ones who pay money, that is the daycare.
then eyokubiri abo abaddekeyo baba babasasula ssente.
Yes.
So at the for the vulnerable, I meet the mothers. We register the children door to door from the community.
nti era abo bavunaanyizibwa baba batasasula ssente ayogera ne maama w'abaana abo bamaama w'abaana abo era ne babawandiisa
We bring them to the center,
ne babaleeta ku ssenta
teach the parents parenting,
ne basomesaamu abazadde b'abaana abo
teach them nutrition,
engeri y'okuzaamu abaana n'okubaliisa,
because most of them we find when they are malnourished.
oba abamu tusanga nga babeera tebalya bulungi.
So we also teach the parents hygiene,
era tusomesa n'abazadde abo ebyobuyonjo.
we also have devotions with the parents,
era tubeera tusaba n'abazadde abo
and the children also.
n'abaana awamu.
Then for the daycare side,
then bano abaddekeya oba baba basasula ssente,
we register the children,
abaana abo tubawandiisa
get all the details of the parents,
ne tufuna ebyo ebikwata ku bazadde b'abaana abo
and have an interview
era
about the age of the children.
ne tuba interviewinga ku myaka gy'abaana abo.
Yes. So, how many children in total do you take care of?
bali baana bameka awamu abo
At the facility.
b'olabirira ku facility eyo?
The facility altogether, we have the vulnerable children are 48,
abo bali vulnerable baba batasasula ssente bali awamu abaana 48,
and the daycare as 18.
then abo abaddekeyo baba basasula ssente bali 18.
Do you know the accused?
oyo omwami oyo omumanyi oyo gwe bafunaana omusango nti ye
How do you know him?
ajja otya okumumanya?
On 2nd of April 2026,
ennaku z'omwezi 2 ogwokuna guno omwaka
at around 11,
ku ssaawa nga 5 ez'okumakya,
one of the caretakers,
11 day or night?
11 a.m.,
ssaawa 5 ez'okumakya,
one of the caregivers
omu ku baali balabira abaana abo
Do
brought
you know the name?
Phoebe,
The other name?
omanyi erinnya lye
Namtebi Phoebe,
ng'ayitibwa Namutebi Phoebe,
Yes.
brought him to the office,
n'amuleeta mu ofiisi
and she told me that this,
Accused to office. Phoebe, Annette, you will go through to allow court to.
ani tejja kuba ogendamu mpola mpola osobola kuleka kooti.
So, Phoebe brought him to your office?
yes,
Yes.
yes, at around 11 a.m.
Yes, yes.
And she introduced him to me.
Era n'amunyanjulira
And she told me
era n'aŋŋamba
that she had come a day before.
nti yali yajja olunaku lumu emabega
And said he had a child he wanted to enroll in the daycare.
era n'agamba yalina omwana bwe yali ayagala okuba ng'awandiisa
Okay.
ku ssomero eryo.
Okay.
Yes,
What
then,
followed?
then I
Where
interviewed,
did they? Okay.
They
They found him in the office.
yes.
Okay. What followed?
I interviewed him.
Era omwami oyo n'amubuuza ebibuuzo
I asked him how the age of the child
ne mubuuza emyaka gy'omwana
and the sex.
ne oba yali mwala oba mulenzi
And he told me it was a girl
n'aŋŋamba nti yali muwala
and was about to make 3 years.
ng'era yali agenda kuba ng'aweza emyaka 3.
Then I told him no,
About to make.
but 3 years.
Yes.
So I told him that that age is for baby class.
era ne mugamba emyaka egyo gy'abaana ba baby class.
So he told me, no, I've taken her to a nursery school, but the nursery school has advised me to start with her with daycare.
Era yangamba nti nasuna mutwala ku nursery school naye nursery school neŋŋamba nti nsooke musokezeeko mu daycare.
Okay.
And he gave me the reason.
Era n'ampa ensonga.
He told me the girl was not social because she stays with the mom alone.
Nti era omwana oyo yali tayogera nnyo n'abantu oba abaana balala era ng'abeera ne maama we.
Yes.
And she cannot speak well.
Era atayogera bulungi.
Yes.
And he went ahead and told me that, but we can give a trial for this term. If she copies very well, then we can introduce her to nursery school.
N'aŋŋamba era basobola okuba nga agezaako hamu eno kasita ateeramuko basobola okuba nga bamutwala then awo mu nursery.
What followed?
Ki ekyaddirira?
I understood I accepted his request,
Era ne nzikiriza okusaba kwe.
and I told him what it takes to enroll a child in the daycare.
Era ne munnyonnyola ekyo ekyali beetaagisa okubeera ng'owandiisa omwana mu daycare.
So I told him that,
You wait. Eh? What did you tell him?
Kiki wamugamba?
I told him registration is 10,000.
Ne mugamba okuwandiisa omwana gubeera omutwalo gumu.
Daycare fees is 120.
Then eza daycare zibeera emitwalo 12.
Then himself asked me, but I see children in uniform. Do you have uniform?
Then ye n'abuuza nti alaba abaana abalyambadde uniform n'amubuuza nti olina uniform?
I told him yes.
Ne muddamu nti ye.
Okay.
And he asked me how much uniform was.
Era n'ambuuza nti uniform yali ya ssente mmeka?
Yes.
So So I told him uniform is 60,000.
Ne muddamu ne mugamba nti uniform yali ya mitwalo 6.
So
Yes.
so I picked the calculator.
Era ne nfuna calculator.
As I was totaling, he already tells me that no, it is 190.
Era we nali ngattamu then ye mangu n'aŋŋamba nti awamu zaali mitwalo 19.
Yes.
Which I had also confirmed.
Era nange ze namala ne nkakasa.
What did he use to total up the money?
Kiki yakozesa okubanga agatta sente
He
zaawe?
did it mentally.
Ye yakikozesa
mental work.
bongo.
What followed?
Ki ekyaddirira?
Then he went ahead and told me that he didn't come with cash.
Nayongera n'aŋŋamba nti yali tazze na ssente eza cash oba ez'obuliwo.
So he asked me if he can put it in the mobile money.
N'aŋŋamba oba asobola okuba nga aziteeka ku mobile money.
Yes.
So he asked me for my contact.
Era n'asaba contacts zange.
Which I gave him.
Ze namala ne mmuwa.
What followed?
So I told him that if you are sending the 190,000, you need to include the withdrawal fee.
Ne mugamba oba oweereza ssente ezo 19 ayongerako n'ezo ez'okuggyayo ssente ezo.
And he told me it's fine, let me put there 5,000.
N'aŋŋamba kale tewali buzibu era kayongereko naye 5,000.
Which he did, and he sent to my phone
Era kye yakola n'aziweereza ku ssimu yange
195,000.
emitwalo 19,150.
Then after seeing the message,
Bwe namala okulaba message,
I instructed Phoebe to write for him a receipt.
ndagira Phoebe okubeera nga amuwandiikira lisiiti.
Yes.
So she wrote the receipt and she gave it to him.
Era awandiika lisiiti eyo n'amala n'agimuwa.
In what form are your receipts?
Lisiiti zo ziri
They are duplicate forms of receipts.
Explain, please.
It was handwritten receipts
zaali lisiiti omuntu z'abeera awandiise obuwandiisi
with they are headed receipts.
ng'era kuliko ebigambo
Headed
ebyogera.
what?
Ggaba Community Church
Nga kuliko Ggaba Community Church,
ECDP.
Ggaba Community Church.
Is in bracket ECDP.
ECDP.
DP.
What does that stand for?
kitegeeza ki ekyo kya ECDP?
Early Childhood Development Program.
Kitegeeza Early Childhood Development Program.
And when when you say they are duplicate, what do you mean?
ogamba nti zaali duplicate ki kyobeera otegeeza?
The client takes the original and we remain with the duplicate.
client yatwala kopi y'original ffe ne tusigazaako eyo eya duplicate.
So before I forget, you told this court that the total enrollment in your school has 48 vulnerable and 18 in daycare.
Yes.
Were all these numbers at the school on the day, the second? when
Wadde
it was
ogamba
kept?
kooti eno nti abo abaali vulnerable baali batasasula ssente baali 48, then abaali basasula ssente aba daycare baali 18.
On that day, they were not all there.
Do you have an idea of how many could have been there, or if you don't, it's okay.
I have an idea.
How many were there
Baali bameka?
The
on
vulnerable
the
were,
second?
on second, the vulnerable children were 28.
Abaali vulnerable baba baali batasasula ssente baali 28,
While the daycare was 16.
then abo abaali aba daycare abo abaali basasula ssente baali 16.
So we are at the point when accused has paid money, Phoebe has written the receipt under your instructions. What followed?
Tuli ku kiseera nga omwami amaze osasula ssente, then Phoebe amaze okumuwandiikira lisiiti ki ekyaddirira.
I actually asked him that now you are registering, you have registered the child, we shall need your details for that, for our file.
Era namubuuza ne mugamba kati tumaze okuba nga tuligeseringa omwana oyo, era kati naye tujja kusaba ebibeera bikwatago olwa fayiro yaffe.
Yes.
He told me that he was just a sponsor of that child.
Era yanziramu nagamba ye yali sponsor ab'omuntu abayambako ku mwana oyo.
But the mother,
naye maama w'omwana oyo
will come with his details and her details. to the
ajja kujja n'ebyo ebimukwatako omwami oyo n'ebikola ku maama w'omwana.
Yes.
on Tuesday.
Ku lunaku olwokubiri.
Yes. What else followed?
Ekyaddirira
So he got out.
n'amala n'agenda n'afuluma.
Actually told him, thank you very much, we're waiting for you and the child on Tuesday.
Oluvannyuma namala ne mugamba webale nnyo nga mwebaza era tulinze omwana oyo ku lunaku olwokubiri.
Okay. What followed?
Ekyaddirira
So he got out, and I also went back to start doing what I was doing because they entered the office when I was typing some things on the computer.
yamala n'afuluma nange nenzayo nenzira ku mirimu gye nali nkola kubanga we yayingirira nali nange nina emirimu gye nkola ku kompyuta.
Yes.
Then Phoebe put back the receipt book in my drawer.
Then Phoebe nazza akatabo ka risiiti mu drawer.
Yes.
And she was now getting out to go because the suspect had already come out, so she was also coming now to open for him the gate.
Kubanga suspect already yali amaze okufuluma era nga yali naye Phoebe afuluma okubanga agenda okubanga amuggulira gate.
So, but he need.
Genda mpola.
Saying you go slow.
So you say Phoebe also got out to open the gate?
Wagambye nti ne Phoebe naye yafuluma okubanga agenda okubanga aggulira omwami oyo gate.
Yes.
So I looked out through the window.
Neningiza mu ddinisa.
And I saw the accused bending on the child.
And accused oba avunaanibwa nga akutamye ku mwana.
So I made a noise and then people were so saying, what are you doing on our children?
Era nenkuba enduula nti nabuuza okola ki ku baana baffe?
Because we actually thought.
Miss Annette, please repeat that. You looked through the window. What did you see?
I looked
through the window and I saw him on the child. He was bending on the child was under him. So for me I thought he was just beating the child. So at the So at the same time, Phoebe had also seen what he was doing.
Yes.
So I ran out of the office. So as I was running to him,
you ran out of office?
I ran out of office.
Yes.
Shouting and heading towards him.
Yes.
So he stood up and left the child who was lying down. And was lifting the knife towards me. With open eyes. So now what?
Now, Phoebe, I will keep prompting you. I mean, Annette,
okay.
I'll keep prompting you. So just be patient with our speed. So you say he lifted the knife.
I ran away.
Lifted the knife
towards me.
Yes.
Then I ran away.
Ran away to where?
I ran towards the corner because that is facing now where the church, where the guards are.
Yes.
Then he went back and now that is the time Phoebe now went as he bent on the next chair, so Phoebe picked a bicycle to hit him.
Yes.
He still ran towards Phoebe. To Phoebe. That's when Phoebe fell down. When Phoebe fell down, he ran back to the children. But I kept on making noise.
Proceed.
eyongereyo.
Then Phoebe still picked another bicycle
Era Phoebe n'akwata akagaali akaali akalala
and hit him.
n'akamukuba.
That's when now he jumped and wanted to cut Phoebe.
Kati awo ekiseera bwe yabuuka ng'ayagala okubeera ng'asala Phoebe oba ng'amutema.
As the Phoebe was struggling, what were you doing?
I was alarming. Another colleague came, Nora, were all alarming, and
Bwe baali beekubira enduulu ne bwe yali akola naye era yali akuba enduulu
until the rescuers came.
paka abantu abaali bataase be bajja.
Before the rescuers, before we go to the rescuers, how many children in total were cut?
Nga tetunnagenda ku abo abaali bazze okutaasa, abaana baali bameka abaali batemeddwa oba baali basaliddwa?
4.
Baali 4.
Could you by any chance know their names?
Osobola okubeera ng'omanyi amannya g'abaana abo?
Gideon Eteku,
Kuliko Gideon Etegu,
Ignatius Seriange,
kuliko Ignatius Seryange,
Keisha again wrote Otim,
Keisha Beroto Tim,
and Ryan Odeke.
ne Ryan Odeke.
So you say rescuers came. Who were these rescuers?
Ogambye abaali bazze okutaasa bajja baali bantu kyabo.
The first one who entered was Silas Bukenya.
Eyasooka okuyingira yali Silas Bukenya.
Moses Opio, who is the guard.
Kuliko Moses Opio eyali akuuma.
And Bashir Matovu.
Ne Bashir Matovu.
What happened as the rescuers, when the rescuers came?
Ki ekyatuukawo abo abaali bazze okutaasa nga bazze?
They got hold of him.
Basobola okubeera nga bamukwata.
Did you observe any other thing?
Olina ekirala kyonna
Process of
kyewalaba
arresting him.
mu kiseera ekyo nga bamukutte?
I did not observe anything because I was now running, calling for help to come and take the children to the hospital.
Sina kirala kinalaba kubanga nali nziruse nga ngezako okufuna obuyambi okubanga abaana abo batwalibwa mu ddwaliro.
Did you get the help?
Yes,
Wafuna obuyambi obwo?
yes sir.
Nti ye
Tell court how?
kkooti ginnyonnyole wabufuna otya?
The nearest person there with the car was Auntie Harriet.
Omuntu yali okumpi awo yalinawo emmotoka yali Auntie Harriet,
So she came and parked at the gate.
era yajja n'apaakinga awo ku geeti.
Was auntie. What happened when Harriet came with her car?
Ki ekyatukawo nga Harriet azze n'emmotoka ye?
People hurried to carry the 3 children.
And
So
where-
they were alive.
Abantu bayanga okusitula abaana basatu abaali nga bakyali balamu.
We thought they were alive.
Baali bateebereza nti abaana abo baleka baali bakyali balamu.
Yes.
So one was not taken to the hospital because that one was, it all showed sign that he had died.
Omu ye teyatwalibwa kuba ye already yali alekerawo nti ye alabika yali amaze okuba nga afudde.
Who was that was left?
Yali ani eyalekebwa?
Ryan Odeke.
Yali Ryan Odeke.
Which hospital did the Harriet take them?
Yali ddwaliro ki Harriet gye yatwala abaana?
West Medical Center.
What followed?
Ki ekyaddirira?
The police arrived.
Poliisi nemala n'etuuka.
Other than police and
Silas and the guard Moses and Matovu brought him to the Askari's offices and locked him there before the police arrived.
Silas ne wagaadi bamukwata ne babaako we bamusibira nga poliisi tennaba kubaako ng'etuuka.
So other than those the three, Cyrus, Moses, and Matovu, and the police, did any other person come or respond?
Waliwo omuntu omulala yenna eyajja.
The people from the community had already also arrived.
Nti abantu abalala ku kyalo baali nabo already baali bamaze okuba nga batuuse.
What happened when police came?
Ki ekyatuukawo nga poliisi ezze?
The police tried to control the people.
Abapoliisi bagezaako okubeera nga bakakkanya abantu.
Yes.
And later on, they picked the body which was also lying there.
Era oluvannyuma bajjawo n'omulambo ogwali gwe basaawo.
And picked the other ones also at once.
Era ne bafuna ne bali abalala era.
Yes.
Nick, did you go with them to pick the bodies at the hospital?
Wagenda nabo okufuna emiryango egy'abaana abo ku ddwaliro.
No, one of us went with them.
Nedda naye omu ku ffe yagenda nabo.
So, okay. And what followed?
Naye
To your knowledge?
ki ekyaddirira
By
ggwe
my
ku
knowledge,
by'omanyi?
the bodies were taken to Mulago for postmortem.
Emirimu gy'abaana abo gyatwalibwa e Mulago okubeera nga gyekebejjebwa abasawo.
What followed?
Ki ekyaddirira?
Late in the day now, the police took statements from us.
Oluvannyuma poliisi baatuggyako statement.
So other than police taking a statement from you on that day, what else?
Oggyako poliisi
Did the
okuggyako
police require
statement ku lunaku
any
olwo.
other thing from you?
Waliwo ekirala poliisi kye yakusaba?
First of all, the police came and closed the place.
Poliisi yajja n'eggala ekifo ekyo.
Other than that?
Ate ekirala?
They checked my phone to confirm whether I received the message from the suspect.
Ne bakebera essimu yange okukakasa nti oba nali nfunye ssente ezo okuva ku suspect.
What did they find?
Ki kye
The
baasanga?
message was there.
Era message yaliko eri.
What else?
Ate ekirala?
The next day is when I was called to go and print mobile money statement, my mobile money statement from mobile money.
olunaku olwaddirira bwe nayitibwa kubanga ngenda okuprintinga mobile money statement yange
Which I did.
era kyenakola.
Where did you print your mobile money statement from?
wagiprintingirawo eyo statement eyo eya mobile money?
It was from Nkrumah Road.
wagiprintinga ku Nkrumah Road?
Nkrumah Road, which place?
Nkrumah Road esangibwa
In town.
mu town
MTN offices.
mu town ku office z'aba MTN.
Which number of yours was the money sent?
yali namba ki eyiyo ku ssente ezo kwe baziteeka?
0772
yali 0772
96.
Sorry, just a minute. My lord, can we request that she just records her number for the court record as opposed to reading it to the public?
Okay.
asabye kooti abeere nga namba yagiwandika buwandiisi okusinga okubeera ng'agisoma mu
I was about to propose that as well.
So I'm going to request that you write for court the number,
Yeah,
your
but-
number on which you send, on which the suspects, the accused person sent.
era bakusabye owandiika ennamba eyo kwe bateeka essente ezo suspect.
Begin by showing it to the prosecution, to them, and then to the assessors, and lastly to the court. Okay, we can proceed.
Other than police asking you to print the said, procure your said mobile money statement, what else?
ogyeko ekyo poliisi okugamba okuprinting out statement ya mobile money ate ekirala?
I printed the statement and gave to police.
Okay.
naprintinga statement eyo nenjowa abapoliisi
What else?
ate ekirala?
The next thing I was summoned to this court.
olala bampita okujja mu kooti eno.
You talked about the receipt that you issued. Did the police require any information about that item?
wayogedde ku risiiti gye mwawaayo, poliisi yabaako kyekubuza ku risiiti eyo?
Yes, they asked me for the booklet.
tiye bansaba akutabaako.
And what happened?
Kyekyaddirira
The police went with it.
So if I showed you the receipt book and mobile money print that you handed to the police, are you in position to recognize?
nti wakuwa
them?
akatabo ako aka risiiti n'eyo ebya print gye wafuluma eyaba MTN osobola okubeera nga obitegeera.
Yes, sir.
Ye
How?
otya
Beginning with the mobile money.
ng'otandise ne statement ya mobile money,
The date,
nti nga kuliko ennaku z'omwezi,
the amount,
n'omuwendo gwa ssente
and the name of the sender.
n'erinnya ly'omuntu oyo yaweereza ssente ezo.
And the receipt.
Ate ku risiiti,
The receipt, the name of the child,
ku risiiti kubeerako erinnya ly'omwana
and the amount.
n'omuwendo gwa ssente.
I want you to look at the two items. Please begin with the book.
Ayagala otunulire ebiwandiiko bibiri, tandika n'akatabo.
Tell the court if you recognize it.
Bulira kooti oba okategedde.
Do you recognize the book?
Yes. I do.
What is it?
Ye akatabo akutegedde,
Receipt book.
nti ke katabo ka risiiti.
Does it bear the duplicate copy of the receipt that you issued to the accused?
Kalimu ezo kopi eza duplicate ezo
That was issued to the accused.
ze mwawa accused oba omusibe,
Yes, sir.
nti ye
What is reflected in the duplicate?
ki ekiri mu duplicate eyo.
The date is 2nd April 2026.
Mulimu ennaku z'omwezi nga 2 Ogwokuna guno omwaka.
The name of the person, child they paid.
Okay, Miss Annette, go slow, please. It has the date.
Kuliko ennaku z'omwezi.
And the date is?
2nd April 2026.
Use the microphone.
Ogwokubiri, ennaku z'omwezi nga 2 Ogwokuna guno omwaka ogwa 2026.
And the child's name?
Ate erinnya ly'omwana
Child's name is Surel Onyum.
Spell it.
Z-U-R-I-E-L. Surel.
erinnya ly'omwana ye Zuriel
And the
Onyum.
second?
Then Onyum is O-N-Y-U-M.
What else does it contain?
Ate ki ekirala ekiri mu risiiti eyo.
The amount of money paid,
Kuliko n'omuwendo gwa ssente ezaasasulwa.
How much it was paid?
190,000 shillings only.
Nga kwaliko emitwalo 19 gyokka.
What else?
Ate ekirala
Being payment of
What was the reason?
yali nsonga ki eya ssente ezo ezaasasulwa
daycare fees
nga zaali za daycare,
plus uniform
nga kwaliko n'eza yunifoomu
plus registration.
n'ez'okuwandiisa omwana oyo.
Total amount 190,000 shillings.
Nga ssente awamu zaali emitwalo 19.
Balance was nil
Ng'era tewaliwo balansi yenna,
and signature was for Phoebe.
ng'era kwaliko oyo yateekako omukono yali Phoebe.
My Lord, I pray that court looks at the school record and compares it with the PID number 1 for PID number 1 to be admitted as an exhibit.
Asabe kooti etunule ekiwandiiko ekyo.
Got the last page. You closed it.
Let me have a response from the defense. He's asking me to look at this book, compare it with BEID 1, and thereafter admit BEID 1 as an exhibit. What is your response? You have looked at the book.
My Lord, it should have been PW6 Phoebe to have identified that because she's the author and has her signature.
Nti yandibadde Phoebe okuba nga wali ekiwandiiko ekyo oyo yali omujulizi ow'omukaaga kuba ye muntu eyawandiika lisiiti era yateekako n'omukono gwe.
Gender?
My Lord, from the testimony, the receipt, the witness understands is the custodian of the receipt book.
Nti omukyalo yayimiridde awo ye muntu oyo aba akuuma ekitabo ekyo ekya lisiiti.
And from her testimony, after Phoebe authoring, she returned the receipt book into her custody.
Okay, go slow.
Phoebe identified the copy.
Phoebe ye yategeerako kopi.
Which in this case, my Lord, is in tandem with the record in the receipt book.
Era mu kiseera kino yeyo kopi eri mu katabo ako aka risiiti.
My Lord, ordinarily, we would be praying to tender the actual book. But we think that since it is still a book in the actual use of the school, it is sufficient for court to inspect it and compare with the copy and we tender.
nti twandibadde tuwayo akatabaako mu kkooti naye olw'ensonga nti essomero likyakozesa akatabaako kkooti yandibadde etulako buluzi neeraba ne comparinga ne kopi eyali eya risiiti.
So my lord, if court is of the opinion that the comparison will not meet the ends of justice, then the receipt book could be tendered in its form as an exhibit.
Nti ekiba kyetaagisa kkooti akatabo kasobola okubeera nga kaweebwayo nga ekizibiti ekyoludda olwayo.
And the exhibit management rules would require the person in custody to be the one to tender, and my lord, the witness on the stand has already demonstrated so.
Okay, this is the ruling of the court. I have looked at the receipt book, which contains a duplicate copy of receipt number 2958, whose photocopy was admitted for identification while PW6 Phoebe was testifying. After comparing the two, I find that they are the same. I have also considered the objection raised by the defense counsel to the effect that the witness, PW7, is not competent to tender in this evidence because she's not the author. According to the defense counsel, PW6 Phoebe, who issued the receipt, should have been the one to tender in the document. However, I note that while PW6 Phoebe was testifying, she clearly informed the court that the receipt book was being kept by Miss Annette Odong, that is PW7, in her office, and after issuing the receipt on the 2nd of April 2026 to the accused, she put back the receipt book in the drawer in Miss Annette Odong's office. I also note that PW6, Miss Phoebe, clearly identified the photocopy of the receipt she issued to the accused, and it was at that point admitted as PEID1. And since the time she issued the receipt book has been in the custody of PW7. It is my considered view that PW7, as a custodian of the receipt book, is the right person to tender it in as an exhibit pursuant to Rule 25(2)(b) of the Constitution, Management of Exhibits, Practice Directions 2022. However, we retain the whole receipt book. The receipt book is therefore retained, and receipt number 2958, which was issued on the 2nd of April 2026 to Zuriel Onyum for Uganda shillings 190,000, is accordingly admitted, and it is marked PEX5.
Omusalayo omulamuzi agambye nti akatabo ako enamba yaako eya 2958 agambye nti akatunuddemu era n'akageraageranya ne receipt book ne ka receipt akaweebwayo wano mu kkooti oyo yali omujulizi ow'omukaaga ayitibwa Phoebe, era yali yateekako omukono ogwo, era nayongera n'agamba nti yadde abalooya b'omusibe badde baganya akatabo kubanga akaweebwayo mu kkooti, naye ye ajja kubanga akakkiriza olw'ensonga nti omukyalo ono ali mu kkooti, omujulizi ow'omusanvu Annette ye muntu oyo atereka akatabo ako era yabeera nako, nga yadde Annette yali yawandiika risiiti ng'ennaku z'omwezi 2 ogwokuna omwaka guno eno, era we yamala okuwandiika risiiti n'agiwa omwami oyo akatabo n'akazzaayo mu woofiisi ewa Annette, era kkooti eno yatunuulira receipt book eyaleetebwa omujulizi ow'omukaaga, era kkooti eno nebeera nga risiiti eyo egisigaza mu kkooti eno ng'egirabako ng'eyali ey'oludda oluwaabi. Ng'era omujulizi ow'omusanvu ye muntu omukyalo ono ali wano mu kkooti ye muntu omutuufu okubeera ng'awayo akatabo ako, era kkooti n'esalawo nti ejja kuba akatabo ako ekasigaza akaalimu risiiti eyaweebwa omwana yali Zuriel Onyum, ng'era kajja kubeera nga ekizibiti eky'oludda oluwaabi ak'okutaano.
How about the next document?
Ate ekiwandiiko ekirala.
Do you recognize it?
Nakyo kitegeera?
Yes, I do.
Ndiye.
What is it?
Ng'era kyekyo.
This is MTN mobile money statement.
Ng'eno MTN eya statement ya MTN. Eya mobile money.
Does it reflect the transaction that you told court?
Eragako esente ezo ziwagambe court eno.
Yes, sir.
Ndiye.
Does it reflect your telephone number that you told court?
era eragako enamba y'essimu eno gye wawandiikidde kooti eno?
Yes, sir.
Ndiye.
Does it reflect the amount?
Era eraga n'omuwendo gwa ssente?
Yes, sir.
How much is reflected?
Nti ye
195,000.
I pray that the land chief state attorney avoids leading question. Does it reflect this? She's saying yes, yes, yes. It's not proper, my lord.
Okay. Appealed.
Does it reflect the amount?
Now let's, you ask Ina.
My lord, we are dealing with a document with due respect. The witness has already told the court all of these things.
We can hear from her how much money does it reflect.
I can always do most obliged, my lord. How much does it reflect?
eragako ssente mmeka?
It reflects 195,000.
eragako omuwendo gwa ssente emitwalo 19,500.
Does it reflect the number that sent? You know, we come to the same. There is just no way of doing it.
Trying to avoid also speaking out the numbers here.
Actually, for her number, it was deliberate because I can't ask her to read out the number. We already have, and court can always compare. How about the number that sent on your number, the money?
Ate enamba eyo yaweereza ssente ezo ku namba yo?
I have it here.
Nti nayo kweri?
My lord, can she read it? Does the defense think that they still need it as a private?
She read it out or repeat
agisome mu
it?
lujjudde oba nedda?
The number, the sending number.
Enamba eyo yaweereza ssente.
Let it be private as it was from the beginning.
Okay.
In what column is the number that sent reflected?
Enamba eri mu kolomu ki?
It shows from. Number 2.
Can you just write it still on the paper for court?
Enamba eyo osobola okuddamu n'ogiwandiika era ku lupapula kooti egirabe.
Can I have the statement first?
Yes, Mr. Morgan, you can proceed.
On what day
lwali lunaku ki
is reflected on the statement
eri ku statement eyo
for sending the money?
olunaku lwaweereza ssente ezo
It was on 2nd February 2026,
Second,
April 2026.
zaala ennaku z'omwezi nga 2 omwezi
time?
ogwokuna guno omwaka gwa 2026
11 minutes past 11 and 5 seconds.
kwali kuyiseeko eddakiika 11 ku ssaawa 5 ez'okumakya ne seconds era 5.
My Lord, I apply to tender the statement as an exhibit.
Yes, Mr. Kumbuga or Ms. Sarah, who is responding to that?
My Lord, we have an objection to that exhibit.
oludda olwabyo lusabye ekiwandiiko ekiweeyo ng'ekizibiti kyabwe era abaloya b'omuse ne bakiwakanya.
The document was prepared and authored by MTA
ekiwandiiko ekyo
Kuluma.
kyakolebwa aba MTN ku Nkuruma.
Therefore, if it's tendered in as an exhibit, it offends the rules of tendering in exhibits. Let the author come to court and tender it in, not her.
era
I press so.
kiba amateeka ag'okubayo ebiziti mu kkooti nti era omuntu oyo yennyini aba yakikolayo emitindo baba balina okujja wano mu kkooti ne baba nga bakiwayo.
Yes, Mr. Morgan, any rejoinder?
My Lord, does our land colleague want to specify which rules so that we respond from an informed point of view when he says this procedure breaches rules? Which rules, my Lord?
Yes, Mr.
Menya
Kumbuga,
mateeka
it offends which law?
My Lord, again, exhibits,
mu kaseera kano
especially documents written,
naye etteeka ery'okuwaayo ekizibiti ddala ebyo ebizibiti ebibeera biwandiikiddwa
it must be the author
Morgan, yeah.
My Lord, the witnesses, and to the fact that she personally went
ng'era ye kennyini yali yagenda
to the telephone provider and secured her personal mobile money printout.
kwabo bennyini abaali b'omukutu ogwo ogw'MTN asobola ye kennyini n'afuna print out okuva mu abo ab'MTN.
My Lord, she also had earlier described in details the transaction on her phone
nti era yannyonnyola
on the day issue.
mu kusooka essente ezo ezaali zaateekebwa ku ssimu eyo.
My Lord, under Rule 25, 2F of the exhibit management of the Constitution, Management of Exhibit Practice Direction 2022. A person who has sufficient knowledge of the exhibit is competent to tender it.
kati omuntu aba alina obutegeevu ku kiwandiiko ekyo asobola naye okubeera ng'akiwaayo.
In this case, my Lord, the witness has sufficiently not just described the process through which she personally secured it.
Ng'era omujulizi oyo atunnyonnyodde emitendera gyonna gye yayitamu okuba nga afuna statement eyo.
My Lord, we believe she is competent in that regard.
Era nga tukkiriza nti naye abeera asobola okubeera ng'awaayo ekiwandiiko ekyo mu kkooti.
Okay, this is the ruling of the court in respect of this exhibit. I have listened to the objections that has been raised by the defense, and which is to the effect that the witness PW7 is not the author of that document that the prosecution seeks to tender in through her, and she's therefore not the competent person to have it tendered as an exhibit. I've also considered the argument by the prosecution that the witness has testified to the processes through which the same was produced. However, I find that whereas the witness has clearly described the document by her mobile phone number and the number of the sender and the transactions of the day, it is also my finding that no evidence has been laid regarding the steps taken to having the statement printed. Whereas she testified that she was called by police to go and print the document, it did not come out clearly whether the request was oral in writing, and it also did not come clearly in her evidence as to where she put the document after having it printed. Did she keep it? Did she hand it back to police? That evidence was not adduced. I have taken note of Rule 25(2)(f) of the Constitution Management of Exhibits Practice Directions 2022, which provides that any person with sufficient knowledge may tender in an exhibit, and whereas I agree that the witness has sufficient knowledge pertaining this document, I don't find it proper that she should be the one to tender it in light of the fact that the chain of its movement has not been laid out before the court. It should either be tendered in by the author or the person at whose instance it was printed. I therefore decline to admit it as an exhibit, but I find that the witness has sufficiently described it, and I will admit it for identification, and it is accordingly marked PEID 2.
Ino yensala ya kooti ng'omulamuzi agambye nti yawulidde okuwakanya okuva mu baloya b'omusibe n'agamba nti omujulizi ono ow'omusanvu nga si ye yawandiika oba si ye yakola ekiwandiiko ekyo, nga yadde yannyonnyodde kooti emitendera gye yayitamu okuba nga afuna ekiwandiiko ekyo, okuba nga bamuwa statement okuva mu BMTN, naye oludda olwabwe lwagambye nti nga lunnyonnyola emitendera egyo gye yayitamu okuba nga afuna ekiwandiiko ekyo, naye kooti yo neezulwa n'egamba nti byezudde nti tewali kirambulukufu kyali kiraga nti omukyalo oyo yamala ofuna ekiwandiiko ekyo ye kennyini yali yakisigaza n'akitereka oba yakiwaayo mu bapoliisi, nga yaliko kyekkiriza nti omukyalo yabadde amanyi ebiva mu kiwandiiko ekyo, nga kuba olw'ensonga nti yali yayita mitendera egyo okufuna statement eyo, naye kooti yo temanyi mitendera ti gye yayitamu okuba nga ekiwandiiko ekyo kyakuumibwa. Era kooti nekomekereza ng'egamba nti ekiwandiiko ekyo kiganiddwa okubeera nga ekiweebwayo oludda oluwaabi ng'ekizibiti kyabwe, naye wabula ejja kuba ekisala nga ekiwandiiko ekyo kye banaalabako obulabe, era kijja kubeera ejja kimaakinga namba ey'okubiri.
Are you done with her? So we can take a break.
I'm almost done. I'm just concerned with the camera interruptions. I know they have the right to take photos, but
Please,
they're getting interrupted.
let's not interrupt the processes as we take pictures or as we record the proceedings. Let's ensure that we do not interrupt.
Okay. Madam Odong, let's wind up. Just for you to clarify in your evidence, you said the money was the money that you issued in the receipt was 190, and the MTN statement has 195.
ojja kutangazaamu wagambye nti
I think that explanation she gave already.
My Lord, if court
Yeah, she gave.
captured it,
The 5,000 was for withdrawal charges.
My Lord, that is all we have from her.
Okay, may I propose that we take a health break of about 10 minutes before we bring her for cross-examination?
tegenda kuwumulamuko eddakiika 10 nga tetunaba
So we return at 10 minutes after midday.
era tujja kukomawo nga lisa eddakiika 10 ku ssaawa 6.